Vegas Revealed, presented by Level Up Law, starts now.
Welcome to Vegas Revealed. Sean McAllister and Dana Roselli here on location at the Mirage in the final hour of this iconic property's existence here on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, literally, it is 10:05 a.m. and the doors close at 11 a.m. We just finished up with a closing ceremony, and right at the end, they turned on the volcano and they said, you know what, we're going to run it for another hour, go have fun, go watch, take pictures. And so we've got the volcano going in the morning.
And we have people kind of filtering through the property one last time before the doors lock for good at 11 a.m. And then starting tomorrow, less than 24 hours from now, is when construction crews are going to come in, start the demolition, start the 3-year process of turning this property into the Hard Rock Las Vegas.
I know. We're sitting right now at a slot machine that's completely shut off. We got a couple lit up ones next to us. But yeah, the floor is cleaned up. People are taking pictures. Some things that we did learn this morning when we talked to Jim Allen, who's the chairman of Hard Rock International and the CEO of Seminole Gaming, is that the atrium is going away. You know, the atrium with the waterfall. And he said, you know what? It's not going to be here anymore. Something else will replace it. I can't say what it is, but that atrium is going away. And so a lot of people taking pictures right now.
And something else that we also found out is that a little toward the end of this year or early into 2025, we'll get a much better idea of Hard Rock's plans for this property, what they plan to do within the footprint that we now know as the Mirage, and also what they're planning for that massive 700-foot guitar tower that's going to be built right out there along Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah, and I asked him about that. I said, you know, some people are all for the guitar tower, others are like, what? So he's going to talk about that in just a minute. But at the closing ceremony, Elaine Wynn was there, and she spoke. And, you know, you could tell everyone was really emotional. Steve Wynn and Elaine Wynn, you know, basically created and built the Mirage. She talks about how, you know, they had the Golden Nugget and they wanted something on the Strip. And so we'll play a little bit of that, too.
And one of the stories that I love that Elaine told, Dana, is about the dolphins. Of course, the dolphins were... so many generations of people have memories of coming to swim with the dolphins here at the Mirage. Well, Elaine Wynn shared a story of how Steve Wynn initially wanted the dolphins at their home. Mm-hmm. But she was like, Steve, I don't know how to take care of dolphins. Put them at the Mirage. And this is where they ended up.
I know. That was fun. And we just put that actually on our Instagram if you want to go look at that soundbite and have a visual. Something that I thought was really interesting is I'm already seeing some reactions online from people saying, hey, this is really cool that they're doing a closing ceremony. Sometimes they kind of just lock the doors, you know, kick everyone out and move on. But, you know, you could tell that the Mirage is something special. I mean, I would say it was really the first, luxury hotel. I mean, it's very unique. Well, like you mentioned, the dolphins and the, you know, Siegfried and Roy's Secret Garden. And, I mean, it was something so different that I think people really embraced it and loved it. And you know, it was a little quirky, you know, very island theme and I don't want to say gaudy, but a lot, but very Vegas.
Very Vegas. But I think it's important to remember that it was the first of its kind. There was the Tropicana that had kind of a tropical motif, but that's kind of where it ended. Yeah. The Mirage was, I mean, really, probably when you think about the history of Las Vegas, one of the big first fully immersive experiences here. Yeah. And now that's a word that's used every other hour of every day.
Well, I think that's the thing, too. Like, the Tropicana didn't have any attractions, you know, inside. Listen, it was a wonderful ceremony. There's a lot of first-time employees here, which is cool. I mean, like, since the beginning. Day one. Yeah, that's the right phrase to use. Day one employees here. You know, when Jim Allen was speaking, he was saying, you know, some will choose to come back. Some have found jobs other places. Some are going to retire. And thank them for their service at the Mirage. You can tell everyone was really really emotional. We heard from Joe Lupo, who, too, the president of the Mirage, and which will now be the Hard Rock, and you could tell he's got a big job ahead. And so it was nice to hear from him as well. And, it's been a nice morning.
It has. Let's go ahead. These are like kind of our immediate takeaways as we are literally just coming away from the closing ceremony out in front of the Mirage. But we want to give you a chance to listen to that conversation we had with Jim Allen from Hard Rock International.
I feel like some people have been a little divisive over the big guitar, Can you give us some words of encouragement? I mean, listen, I'm all for it. Others are against it. In the, other cities where you have it, people love it?
I think that's an excellent question. And clearly some cities, people have said, Jim, we don't think that's the right thing. And we frankly have always yielded towards the local population or the governing, country that we're in. But in the case of Las Vegas, if there's ever a building or city, I should say, about wows, certainly Las Vegas would be that city. So when you talk about a structure, if anyone has gone online or seen the guitar in South Florida, that's about 450 some feet. This building will be approaching 700 feet. It will become a true icon, and that's something we think that creates international tourism, not just for Hard Rock, but frankly for Las Vegas. Bulldozers and construction people will be here tomorrow. We've been slowly mobilizing the last 5-6 months, but really this time next week we will be, in major demolition. Major. Right now there's a tremendous emphasis on sports, and obviously F1 and basketball, baseball, football, and all those teams seem to be thriving incredibly well. But you still have the aspect of the integrated resort concept, which is meeting and group. Amazing food and beverage, and obviously, last but not least, the world's greatest entertainment.
How much of what we're seeing here now will we kept? You're going to keep the atrium? Do you know what you're kind of doing yet?
We plan on having a major announcement sometime in the last quarter of this year or first quarter of next. But what I can tell you is, no, the atrium will not be in the future. As I said, today we're not going to get into the specifics of the new project. This is really about the legacy of the Mirage and all the employees that worked here since 1989. But certainly really excited about presenting the project the proper way in the future. It was certainly a long battle since 2007, actually 2006, when we actually announced the purchase of the brand. We looked at a lot of dirt. We certainly looked at a lot of buildings, but I don't think anyone can dispute this is probably the best piece of real estate on the Las Vegas Strip. It's truly the 50-yard line. And when you talk about a site that is almost 80 acres, it certainly gives us the ability to look at the future for massive expansion, assuming the business, hits its performance. All of us have to be very cognizant about what's happening with iGaming, sports betting, and the utilization of a smartphone for the purpose of entertainment. And I think anyone that's not focused on that in our industry should be cautious.
And we mentioned that Elaine Wynn was there. She got up to speak at the closing ceremony, and we caught a little piece of that for you. The Mirage opened in 1989. It was opened by casino mogul Steve Wynn, and it was interesting. She told some stories.
Although the Golden Nugget was certainly a wonderful experience, Steve and the rest of us all craved and wanted desperately to join the other guys and gals up here on the Strip in order to do something really spectacular and innovative. And it gave us an opportunity, of course, to let the imagination run wild, and his imagination really did run wild. Up until that time, this place was sort of steeped in a desert environment culture. With a few exceptions, we had the sands, the Sahara, the dunes, the desert inn. And Steve always believed in creating what he kind of referred to as dynamic tension. What can we do to make the people go, wow? What can we do to make them think, well, who would ever think of building that place here? Now, of course, the Tropicana did exist, but it was just a bit of a gesture. So the notion that we could create a tropical paradise with all of the attendant functions that have been referred to in the last days and weeks, with magical gardens and exploding volcanoes and dolphins in the backyard, which, by the way, he really wanted to put at our home. And I explained to him, Steve, I don't know a thing about dolphins. And if you're so intent on that, let's put him at the Mirage, thinking that I could get him off of that tangent. And thank goodness he did, and we did.
It's always great to see Elaine Wynn. I mean, she really is, she's up there with the greatest visionaries of Las Vegas.
Yeah, and when they introduced her, he kept saying, like, this is going to take an hour to read everything that you've done and all the accomplishments, and she laughed. But yes, definitely an icon in Las Vegas.
And as we mentioned, demolition and construction at the Mirage property begins immediately, but we wait 3 years until we can get back inside when it reopens as the Hard Rock.
Yeah, we were saying this morning, I hope they demolish that parking garage.
Oh, I would not be sad if they came up with a new parking solution.
I hope so.
Those little roads back there, it's like a bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, listen, quick update on the Tropicana demolition. We don't know all the specifics, but we know it's supposed to take place sometime in October this fall, and we know permits are moving forward. They've been submitted, and so, there's like 2 towers there. So hopefully, because we kind of like an implosion, we're hoping that we'll get a nice little implosion sometime this fall.
Yeah, and according to the dates that have been filed on these permits, it's still not a done deal yet. There's still some, final things approvals to go through. But it looks like it could be around the first week of October when we see that happening, at least according to what we're seeing now.
Okay, good. Hey, a couple notes. Just going to run through some new things that were announced. Theo Vaughn doing very well at Resorts World. He had a great 4th of July weekend show, and now he's returning. In fact, his actual tour is called Return of the Rat, but he's coming back August 30th and August 31st to Resorts World Theater. Shows are at 9 p.m., and tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Theo Vaughn is a stand-up comedian and podcast host and very popular.
Also, Kevin Hart is going to be returning to the stage over at Resorts World as well, bringing back his Heartbeat Weekend, August 29th through September 1st. That is also when Kevin Hart will take the stage to do his own show on September 1st. So it'll be all things Kevin Hart over there at Resorts World.
Yeah.
That Labor Day weekend.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's weird because Labor Day weekend's like, the 30th, the 31st. And I feel like it's early this year. Isn't it sometimes like September, 4th? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
I feel like all
August.
Time has been so weird lately.
I know. We don't even know what month we're in. It's
Weekends feel like weekdays.
Right.
It's a whole thing.
All we know is every day lately it's been 115 degrees. So
we're ready for the fall temperatures.
Right. Today when they were like, hey, go over and look at the volcano one more time. And I'm like, I really don't want to go stand by fire at this moment.
Fire and in the sun next to fire.
Right. Hey, well, listen, we have a lot of male listeners, so I thought this one's for the guys. I mean, it's not really. It's actually for women, too. We're talking about a couple new shows that are launching, but they're actually launching at a strip club. Okay, so Centerfolds, right there on Paradise, like across from Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, actually has a showroom. And they do a show called A Touch of Burlesque, but they're adding 2 more shows into the mix. Excite the Show, which actually has popped around to some different places. It's kind of like a rock vibe, high energy. This is produced and choreographed by Jennifer Romas, and she does an excellent job. They're putting that show there. They're also putting Murray's Misfits in there, and this is supposed to showcase some of the funniest and weirdest acts in Las Vegas. This is produced by comedian, magician Murray Sawchuk, who's been in Las Vegas a long time, had shows, even took part in hosting Fantasy for a while over at the Luxor.
Yeah, most recently he had a show over at the Laugh Factory at Tropicana.
Right.
So he's found a new home for his show over at the Centerfolds showroom. And this showroom does look like, I haven't been over in person, but I've been seeing, some of the pictures that the folks over there have sent over, and it looks like a really nice showroom.
It does. That Burlesque show has been going for a long time now, actually, for years. And I think it does well because it keeps plugging away. So it's interesting. I mean, if you've got the space and you've got the setup for a show, why not try it out? I love that people are finding spots for different kinds of shows, and hey, whatever works. It's just off the strip, easy, to get in and get out. And so anyway, Centerfolds Las Vegas.com is the website if you want to go there. If you go up to the top, you'll see a tab for the Burlesque and you'll see a tab for shows, and you can get more information. They're kicking off in July, and hopefully it'll stick.
And by the way, Jennifer and Murray are both very talented, and they've been around Las Vegas for a while.
Right.
And
they know what they're
great
doing.
at what they do. They know exactly what they're doing. So congratulations to them on finding a new home for both of their shows.
Yeah. Hey, on our television show recently, we talked about how Emmett's Las Vegas, a new restaurant over there at the fashion show. I mean, it's not so new anymore, but newish.
New within the last few months.
Exactly.
This year.
Yeah. We mentioned that they actually added brunch on the weekends and lunch all the time. So when we first talked about the restaurant, it was only open for dinner.
Right. Even though I said, I can't wait to get over there for lunch. And you're like, well, you're going to have to wait because it's only open for dinner. Well, now I can go for lunch anytime I want.
Exactly. The restaurant opens at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And I was shopping there on Saturday, and we had just done the story, and I thought, and me and my friend were like, where should we go to lunch? And I was like, why don't we go to Emmett's? So wanted to mention that I went there and had an incredible appetizer. We kind of had it as, we sort of shared it kind of as our meal. We got the tuna tartare, and then we each got a Caesar salad. This tuna tartare, though, I wanted to specifically talk about. It was so good. It was like this spicy, tangy, I don't know. It was delicious, Sean. I highly recommend if you go to Emmett's that you get the tuna tartare appetizer.
Ooh, so how do they serve it? Is it like on
It's like in the middle, like in a little bowl.
Okay.
Kind of a piled high,
Yep.
right? And then this drizzle over it and all these spices. And then you get the little, I forget what they're called, chips on the side.
like the crunchies?
Yep.
Yeah.
The crunchies. And you can spoon it out and just eat it like that, or you can put it, it was so good. Really, I think like the best I've had. Delicious.
I love tuna.
I know. It was, a little busy in there at lunchtime, but I think they could use some more people over there. So I want to let everyone know it's open. It is it's not tough to find. It's just, I think that the restaurants that have been open there for a long time, kind of the go-tos, are on the other side, the more northern side of that whole area, because this is the restaurant that faces the Wynn. They have like kind of like a restaurant area where you'll see the Maggiano's. So there's a Mexican restaurant,
Capitol Grill,
Happy
Camper.
Yes, all that. And then Emmett's is on the other side. So you got to kind of walk a little bit more to the south, or I'd say if you were looking at the fashion show, you'd walk to your left. So you got to find Emmett's and check it out. Again, it's open for lunch and dinner and brunch on the weekends now.
Let's get a quick message from our title sponsor, Level Up Law, and then we'll get to our tips.
Level Up Law is looking to help you. You might have heard about the recent lawsuits surrounding Ozempic. It's concerning, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people have been experiencing some serious issues from taking semaglutide or tirzepatides, including severe vomiting, hospitalization, pancreatic issues. The list goes on and on. If you've experienced any of this, you are not alone. And here's the thing, Level Up Law is here to help. We already have a team of lawyers researching this issue and preparing to help those who need it. Don't hesitate to reach out to our team if a doctor prescribed you these drugs and you're experiencing issues. Give us a call at 855-LEVEL-UP. That's 855-LEVEL-UP, and we will answer your questions. Remember, you're not alone. Level Up Law has got your back.
Our first tip is that Lapa Lounge is now open over at the Rio. You and I went there we were going there to go to VooDoo Steak
Right.
for dinner. And then we stopped in and saw the new lounge. Want to let everyone know that it is officially completed and it looks really nice. That lounge has always been popular, and it's nice to see it redone. There's couch areas, there's a bar, lots of really nice fixtures. We had an espresso cocktail. I wouldn't call it an espresso martini.
And it was a tequila cocktail.
That was good.
And it was kind of like an espresso martini, but made with tequila. But you couldn't really taste tequila.
No. It was good.
It was such a good drink. Oh my gosh.
And you and I were like, okay, before we have dinner, like I kind of need a pick me up.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we're going to like lean toward the espresso. And it was perfect to have right before dinner.
And I did ask the bartender, I was like, so what's one of the most like popular cocktails since you guys have opened? He was like, well, we did only just open like a week or two ago.
Right.
But the popular drink is the one that you're drinking.
Okay, good.
So we got it.
We got it.
And it was good.
Yeah. And then another tip is just VooDoo Steak in general. We went up to the top, and I hadn't been there in a very long time. I know you hadn't either. We had a friend in town, and we thought, where should we go? We wanted something kind of like with a Vegas view.
Yep.
And so we thought about VooDoo, and we always say it, that hotel casinos just off the strip have amazing views. And we revisited the VooDoo Steak up there, and we were like, wow, this view really is incredible.
It's amazing. And there's that patio that they have up on top of Rio.
It's huge.
I mean, just off of VooDoo Steak, there's a massive patio right outside that has, like you said, one of the best views in all of Las Vegas. And then there's that spiral staircase that goes up to a second level patio that connects to VooDoo Lounge.
Yeah, and we reached out and we found out the lounge is actually one of the next projects that they're taking on. So you can't use the lounge, but you can go out to the patio. They let you go out there to like take pictures of the sunset and go out there, to take pictures in general when it gets dark. I think they probably wanted to kick us out. We were up there so long.
We were up there for a really long time.
But the view is so incredible. I mean, you can even see all the way down, like you can see Allegiant Stadium perfectly. You can see the Sphere.
I mean, it's such a unique view of the entire Las Vegas Valley.
Yeah, it really is. Dinner at VooDoo, I just feel like it's such a classic meal,
Yes.
Like I had a New York strip, you had a filet mignon, right? Filet?
I had a filet, with some blue cheese crust on top. It was really good.
It was. I think my favorite thing might have been the creamed corn. It was delicious.
I think there might have been blue cheese in there too.
Yeah, and then we had the potatoes, I think, with the blue cheese. There was a lot of
blue cheese.
But we kept ordering things with blue cheese. Even our olives had
I had blue cheese olives in the martini.
In the dirty martini. Oh my gosh. And then we had that short rib bruschetta as an appetizer. That's a must get.
100%. One bite of that and I was like, oh my God. I could have gotten 3 orders of the short rib bruschetta and just had that for dinner.
Yeah, that was really good. I even loved my Caesar salad. It was just the classic, Caesar salad followed up with a steak. I loved it.
And the lettuce was so crisp.
Yeah, it was good.
I love good, cold, crisp lettuce.
Me too. We were too full for dessert, but we did order 1 piece of carrot cake. That was good too. We had a little cappuccino. So great to see people up there too. We were like, it was busy up there, and I love that. And just another reminder for everyone: if you want a dinner with a view, VooDoo Steak is definitely an option. And breaking news, Sean, as I was looking for some information about VooDoo Steak, to answer one of my questions, I found that they have a happy hour. 5 to 6, Thursday through Sunday. Get this: cocktails $12, wines by the glass $10, bottled beer $5, and half price appetizers. And guess what's on the list? The braised short rib bruschetta. Okay.
I mean, that's a good happy hour right there.
Dad, we're just full of tips.
5 to 6 o'clock.
Yeah, they got shrimp cocktail, the calamari, the crab cakes, the smoked slab bacon, and the brandied steak tartare. So a lot. If you want to go up there, enjoy a little bit like before I can't speak today, a little bit before the sunset. I know, we're getting tired. We were up early for the Mirage closing.
And the view is free when you go up.
The view is free, and it's all glass. It's great. Also, just to let everyone know, they did open the Luckley Tavern as well. We got to go try that out still.
Yes, so there's lots of the projects that have been ongoing are now opening. So it's definitely worth stopping back over there.
All right.
Hey, we went from happy hour to now let's talk about a social hour.
I know, which is like a social happy hour.
It is.
We want to let everyone know about this because at first I thought it was just for locals, but it's not. Everyone. So if you're coming into town, go to the Palms and go to Scotch 80 Prime. and they are doing a social hour twice nightly and offering 50% off some of their top selections. The deal takes place, okay, get this, nightly Monday through Thursday from 5 to 6:30. Then again from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. You just look for the Scotch 80 logo next to select items and they'll be 50% off. So that's really cool. Hey, a couple other notes. Okay, what was I going to say? Wanted to thank the subscribers. We always see your donations coming in. We appreciate you so much. Oh, wanted to mention you can text us now just in case you're new to the podcast. You can go into our show notes and send us a text if you have a comment or you want to, suggest something. Also, Sean, we had a review on Apple Podcasts recently. Sometimes I forget to see if we've had any new reviews, and I love this one. It says, these two are great at what they do and resonate with my style of visiting Vegas, down to earth and smart podcasters. I listen every week, so I just wanted to thank that person for listening every single week.
Thank you so much. That's so kind.
Yeah. So we love the reviews. Feel free to give us, a rating and a review on Apple or any of the other podcast platforms. Also, a lot of people ask me, these are all these notes going on in my head as we're chatting. A lot of people ask me about my friend Debbie Gibson, who we've interviewed on the podcast many times.
We have.
Our friend.
Yep.
But we went out to dinner recently just to catch up. She's back in Las Vegas, and people always kind of want to know what she's up to, but she's gone out to do a bunch of shows. She just announced more shows in, I think it's the fall around the holidays. Anyway, she's always doing performances all around the country. So if you want to see Debbie perform, she is out there doing stuff all the time, even though she's based here in Las Vegas, and then she spends some time also in California. She has been gone a lot, so I hadn't seen her in so long, even though we keep in touch. But if you want to keep up to date with her stuff, go to DebbieGibsonOfficial.com. People see pictures of us and they always ask, like, hey, what's Deb up to? When can I see her? And that kind of thing. But she's always got stuff going on.
She has been so busy lately.
Yeah.
Because even I'll ask, I'll be like, oh, where's Debbie these days?
Right.
She's always popping around like, oh, in New York and Chicago and wherever. I mean, all over the place.
Yeah.
Good for Debbie. Debbie's great.
Oh, she is. And she's a great off the cuff and kind of like even like I would call it like acoustic performer at the piano.
Yeah.
She just does a lot of that in her shows. She's actually doing a show near where we grew up at one of the casinos nearby there in New York in Waterloo. She's doing a bunch in New York. She's doing Pittsburgh. She's doing Ohio. She's doing this whole Electric Youth 35th anniversary kind of tour show. So Electric Youth. I can't sing it like that.
Electric Youth came out just before the Mirage opened.
Right. Yeah. You're right. It did. And then she's doing Acoustic Youth starting in September. And then October, she's doing shows going on all the way through, it looks like October 24th. So I said the holidays. It's the fall. And then she'll announce more stuff because I know Debbie.
So that is your Debbie Gibson update.
Yes. Because we get a lot of questions about that when people see pictures. So we'll have to have Debbie back on the show soon.
We've had a lot of really great interviews that we've been doing that you'll be hearing here on the podcast in the coming weeks and months. Among them, the show Fantasy over at Luxor is celebrating its 25th anniversary on the Las Vegas Strip, which is kind of unheard of for a show.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And so they're adding new numbers, bringing in celebrity choreographers to put some new numbers together for that show. Their big anniversary celebration is coming up in the fall, but we've been going out, getting some of these interviews, and we'll be peppering those in over the coming weeks as well. That'll be good. But like you said, 25 years is a long time for one show. So kudos to them. They're always changing it up, which is why I think it, keeps people coming back. It's the staying power, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's it. That's a wrap. Next week on the podcast, we are going to dive into the Venetian. We actually did a lengthy interview. I mean, it's not lengthy, like 5 minutes. It feels lengthy in our world sometimes because we're used to TV, short bites. But we're going to dive into what they're doing and what they have going on. They're in their 25th anniversary, right? But they have a lot planned for the future and now.
And we learned some really interesting little facts about the Venetian that we did not know. I didn't even know it's the largest hotel casino in North America.
Yeah.
And so that'll be next week. Stay tuned for that. And then we have lots of other little things to talk about too.
And a big thank you to our title sponsor, Level Up Law. Give them a call, 855-LEVEL-UP. Also, thank you to our sponsor, the VegasNearMe app, available on Google Play and the Apple App Store.
Have a great week, everyone. We have an update from one of our sponsors, the VegasNearMe app. They are constantly working to add more information. We tell you that all the time. The app is free. We also tell you that. But gosh, when we get these updates, it really is incredible how much information is inside.
Yeah, VegasNearMe has recently partnered with Vegas.com to get you the best prices on show tickets. In fact, they have over 1,000 shows listed inside the app.
And also, we know sometimes you need a quick break or a familiar go-to when you're in Las Vegas. And they do have more than 1,400 chain restaurants and stores listed in there. They have more than 8,000 individual locations, so you can find them. We're talking Walgreens, Starbucks, fast food, you name it.
And we all love to save money, don't we? Well, Vegas Near Me is going to help with that too. Right now, they're offering 50% off of shows at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, plus a $99 bottle package at Crazy Horse 3 for up to 4 people, including transportation.
Yeah, that's a good deal. And there's lots of other deals in there too. So get in and look around. Vegas Near Me is free. You don't have to put in your email. Download it in the Google or Apple App Store. Hours, locations, even the length of shows are in there. It's really good. You can even find live music, kid-friendly activities, maps of inside the hotels and casinos. It really is a lot of information in your hand.
It is Vegas Near Me. Download it today.